Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, I'm Alex, and this is the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight on the East Coast of the United States, of what used to be America. He's in Massachusetts, in Worcester, which is how's Worcester spelled now?
Worcester.
Okay, the Worcester.
Worcester.
That's like it's like Elmer Fudd talking about a male chicken. Oh, Worcester.
No, because you pronounce it Worcester.
Worcester. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're liking being back in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, I like that there's family around.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not crazy about the cold.
Well, you know, when it gets nice, when you see your first spring day, here's the thing. In California, first spring day comes along and you go, who cares?
Right.
Right?
Right.
You know, what's the difference between winter and spring? About 2 degrees in California, right?
Right.
Right. But in New York, like when we're recording this, there's supposed to be a big snowstorm, okay?
Right.
And it's colder than hell out there, and it's going to come down, and we're going to be up to our pupiks in snow, and it's going to be terrible and horrible, and then your first spring day comes along, and you go, wow.
Magical.
Yeah, magical. You don't get that in California.
No. But that's also like, you know, the first snowstorm is magical. The very first one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, even New York City looks pretty.
Oh.
With a fresh coat of snow.
With a coat of snow, everything is, number one, everything is prettier, as you said, and it's soundproof. Do you ever notice how there's that kind of soundproofing that snow has? If you were to yell, your yell wouldn't go very far.
No, the acoustics suck.
Well, the acoustics, I like the acoustics. You know, it's like a soundproof room, which I'm used to working in.
Oh, right, yeah, for years.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of good. And then let me see here. The other thing about then all of a sudden the worst part of the snow is like the second or third day, when all of a sudden it turns to slush, and on top of that, it's now not white snow any longer. It's gray
brown
snow.
From
all the soot and all the and cars are going through it, and you've got to wear galoshes because it's this high on the corners. And
don't remind me, Alex. Don't remind me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's as bad that way in Worcester.
Worcester gets the second most snowfall in the United States besides Buffalo.
Really?
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
We get hit by northeasters.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is because of what we have here, which are lots of cars and everything, it just doesn't parse out.
It goes gray real quick. It gets ugly.
But when it first falls, I know today when we finally get a good dusting of it on the ground, Marjorie and I are going to look out the window and say, "Isn't that gorgeous?"
Right.
You know.
And tomorrow you go, "Why is it still here?"
No, it's still snowing tomorrow. The day afterwards, we go, "Why is it still here?"
Are you supposed to get snow for 2 days?
Yep. And I got to tell you something. We have a problem here once again with COVID. Okay, it's not as bad as the rest of the country because it's. I think it's Vermont. I think maybe Massachusetts, Hawaii, and then us is the 4 lowest.
I know Massachusetts is one of the lowest, and they're actually rolling out more stuff.
Yeah. So what's happened though is that we still worry that it's gonna hit us not as hard, but hard. Yeah. And right now we a day ago or something, we had 126 deaths. which, when you consider that a few months ago we hit zero.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's quite profound. And so we of course worry about it and do something about it and try and stop it. And,
Yeah, but didn't you tell me half the people in your neighborhood are not wearing masks?
well, the thing that bothers me, okay, I live in Harlem, and Harlem is a predominantly black neighborhood. All
Right.
right. Although more whites have moved in, like us, and it's becoming more residential and more provincial
Right.
than it had been. But we are, and I see a disproportionate amount of black people. Okay, so
Right.
now I'm having to report here on the black population. I can't speak for the white population, but I can talk for the black population. And what I see is, if I walk down the street, I would say 60% of the people aren't wearing masks. And those that are wearing them either as chin guards or as mouth guards.
Yeah, well, why don't they cover their nose? What the?
Well, the thing
God
is that
damn it, cover your damn nose.
you have a piece of what do you call it, metal up here, so that
Yeah.
when you put it up, you then bend it to your nose.
Right.
Okay, and
Right.
that's how you're supposed to use it. But anyway, either they're not doing it right, or they don't, not doing it at all. I'm asking them walking down the street without them at all. And I've been saying this on the show a lot, and I don't want to sound racist when I say this. I understand why black people are reticent to deal with medicine, okay, because it has been a point of problem to them in the past.
Yeah.
And the testing that went on with the Tuskegee experiments and so on. I understand that completely, and their distrust of the medical profession. However, you may not want to get a vaccination. That I understand, although I think you're stupid not to get one. But if you don't get one, I understand, because you've had this history. But where's the history that prevents you from wearing a mask? And
Well,
that's
I don't know. Now, are you going to get a vaccine soon?
whenever it's available to me, sure.
Now, how do we know when we fit in the category to go get a shot?
Well, in my neighborhood, they shoot up a flare. No, I have no idea. All I know is they say that my group, the next group after the workers and the nursing homes, is people with medical circumstances.
Right.
So I don't know if I fall in that category or not. I don't know, because of the prostate cancer and the radiation. Does that make me qualified for that group?
I think so. I
think so. But then, how do they know? Do they send me a note saying, "Oh, by the way, congratulations, you're sick enough to be able to get the vaccine"? And then when I get the vaccine, my wife would not be eligible for it yet, because she's about 4 years younger than me, 3 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So she isn't in that 80 and over group. So she probably won't be able to get it for a while after I get mine. And she's going to look at me with, COVID envy or vaccine envy.
Right.
So I don't know if I should wait for her, But
It depends on how you feel, Alex.
yeah. All I'm saying to people out there is, if you're offered it, take it. You're not going to get COVID. It doesn't even have killed vaccine in it. It doesn't have killed viruses in it. That's not. That's not the way they do this one.
Right.
It so far it looks like. I mean, we've had a lot of people get it now here in New York State already, medical people, and they all seem fine.
Right.
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 I wouldn't worry about it. I'd worry more about getting COVID. Okay.
Yes.
In other words, you want to balance them. Vaccine, COVID. I'd say the vaccine's safer. You know what the most effective and safest thing is? Wearing a mask.
Right.
So here's the thing. So I got all
Hey,
this.
cover your damn nose.
I got all these. I watch MSNBC and they're going, and blacks are getting the COVID virus disproportionately, and they're saying it's because of the medical thing and Tuskegee experiments and all that. But they never once mention it's because, and also they largely don't wear masks. Nobody mentions that part of it.
Right.
They also don't mention that the major comorbidity among blacks is not being black, but it's that there are a lot of blacks who carry a great amount of weight.
Yes.
Okay, and that's a killer when it comes to COVID.
Right.
And that could be because of nutrition. That could be a result of a lot of things, but still, it makes you have a comorbidity. Makes you vulnerable to COVID. So wear a mask. Okay.
In fact, don't leave your house. If you don't have a mask, don't leave your house.
I did something wrong the other day. I got in the elevator the other day, and I'm going down, and it stops at the third floor, and a woman gets in, and she's not wearing a mask. And I put my hand over my mouth. I had my mask on, so I put my hand over my mouth, kind of to say "fuck you,"
Right.
you know. And that didn't seem to get her. And then we got down to the first floor, and she let me out first, and I got out, and I didn't even leave the door open for her. I just ran.
Right.
And everybody suggested I should just told her, no mask, you're not getting in this elevator with me. I'll send it up for you when I get down to the first floor.
There you go.
You know?
How do you handle that? Like when I see somebody and they're just wearing it like over their mouth, I want to say, cover your damn nose.
Well, I mean, it's like you don't care about your fellow person. All right? You know, you're so goddamn selfish. You don't want to wear a mask.
No, you don't.
Well, the fact is, if everybody in this country tomorrow started wearing a mask, you would see the numbers plummet.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Yeah. There's something we can do about it. You know, it's like Cuomo says, you know, if you're sitting at home and you're eating and you're not exercising and stuff, and you're going to gain maybe a pound a week. So
Right.
after 4 weeks, you've gained 4 pounds. He said,
Right.
but you could do something about that by either eating less or working out more or whatever.
Right.
And he said the same is true with COVID. You know, I mean, we don't do anything; it's exponential. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But
That's right.
you can do something about it. You can wear a mask. And
Right.
nobody likes wearing a mask. They're not fun.
No.
You know, nobody liked using a condom when AIDS came around, but we had to.
Right. And we talked about AIDS is pretty much eradicated.
It is eradicated. They just came up with a thing the other day saying AIDS is pretty much a non-starter now. You know.
Is that unbelievable?
Yeah. That we've wiped out one of the most vicious, death-dealing diseases to ever hit this country. We managed to do away with it. Pretty good.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah, pretty good. So you know, I mean, I'm constantly giving the same speech over and over again. I'm sure people are tired of it, but you know, if you care about your fellow person, you care about your neighbor, wear a mask. You know, because you're not only protecting yourself, you're protecting them as well.
That's right.
And
That's right.
And if we all wore them, if everybody put a mask on tomorrow, you know, the virus would have nowhere to go.
Right.
Okay? And within a very short time, you'd see numbers just plummet. But no, and then people have what's called home spread, living room spread, they're calling it.
Is that right?
Where during the holidays, oh, well, you know, I don't want to go out because there's COVID out there. I'll invite my neighbors in, or I'll invite my family in.
Right.
Bingo. 74% in New York State, 74% of all cases of COVID have been related to home spread. Okay? So, folks, it isn't that safe, all right?
Right.
And wear a mask or blow me, one or the other. I don't care.
Take the mask off first.
Yeah, that should be you. I should get a mask that says that. Wear a mask or blow me.
I like that.
Yeah. And people will probably start to offer blowing me over wearing a mask, so what do I do then? But anyway, listen, have a happy holiday season.
And you too, and happy birthday.
As two Jews, pretty much our holiday is already passed. So, we have nothing to look forward to.
No, Christmas sucks in my house.
Yeah, Christmas sucks in your house. Well, quickly, I love the story about Michael Pritchard and I in Union Square singing Christmas songs. And all of a sudden, they come up with "O Little Town of Bethlehem" or "Silent Night" or something like that, which is really very religious.
Right.
And I'm humming. I'm not singing. And Pritchard looks at me, who's an ex-alcoholic, and says to me, "Oh, come on, Alex, sing. It couldn't hurt." And I look back at him, or up at him, actually, because he's very tall. And I said, "Come on, Michael, have a drink. Couldn't hurt."
There you go.
Anyway, have a nice holiday season,
You too, Alex.
and I will see you. I think about the time Kwanzaa is here, so
Okay.
stay right where you are so I can talk to you after this is over. But this is Steve Kravitz. He's fun. I look forward to these get-togethers with him.
We have our little chats. This is our fireside chat.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Say goodbye to him.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, and if you heard me wish him a happy holiday season and a whole bunch of other things, it's because that was recorded before Christmas. And I wanted to get it played off because we go to all the trouble of doing them in the first place. So I figured I would play it off. And next week will be a brand new one. All right? Okay. And occasionally, because we do these things, I do them in the afternoon, and we play them back. And he's so entertaining. I didn't want to waste a single morsel with him, so we played an old one. So if you're wondering why I wished him a happy Christmas and so on, it's because that's what time of the year it was. So, one Jew wishing another a happy Christmas. Wow. Happy holiday season is the term we use. And, oh, look, I got a new T-shirt. Look at that. Vintage 1939 limited edition, right? Okay, yeah. And I got another one now that for 81 years, okay? Every year I'm going to buy a new one till I can't buy anymore. And then you guys can buy them for me and drop them on my grave, okay? All right, isn't that depressing? Anyway, let me see here. I got to get everything ready here, and there are a whole bunch of people waiting to come on. So I may as well, let them all get together. Here they are. They're coming on. And let's see here. There's Brian Neary is there somewhere. He's connecting to audio. Charlie Wallace, there's Charlie. Charlie's been waiting since before we started the show tonight. You just kind of get into the waiting room and stay there, right? And there's Mr. Robert Natali. And, of course, there's Jeff. And hopefully we'll be joined by other people as well. Oh, gee, it's kind of dark in there tonight, Brian. You could use a little light.
Brian's got the Studio 54 effect on.
Oh, I see. Okay. Is that it? Yeah.
I was there many days. Not that one, the Vegas one.
Yeah.
Friends were DJs and bouncers there. So 2000 to 2003, I was there every other month for a weekend.
Really? Do you know that in all the time I was in New York when Studio 54 was around, and I never went to Studio 54. Never. Not once. Wouldn't be caught dead in the place. I was a hippie. I had the long hair. I wasn't wearing the platform shoes, although in those days when you wanted to buy shoes, you almost had to buy platform shoes because that's all they were selling. Okay? And when you went to go buy jeans, the only thing they had were bell bottoms. So you had to dress that dress even though you didn't want to. And
The title of my college radio show was Disco Sucks.
Really?
Yeah.
And it truly did.
Oh, God. You know, if you think about it, to this day, now we're talking 40 years later, you can find an outlet to hear music from the 50s, the 60s. You can hear classic rock. You can hear country, bluegrass, blues. You can hear damn near every style of music.
Yep,
But you can't find a disco station
There's
anymore.
no disco
You just
stations.
can't.
No, you're right. There
You
may be
can't find it.
There may be some songs from that era, like
Yeah, there are a few.
like "Staying Alive" and
Yeah.
you know, some of the stuff that was done out of Philadelphia. You know, and they weren't bad. You know, they weren't terrible. But what you could do in those days, who did we lose? We lost.
Yeah.
We lost Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, in those days, you could take just about anybody and have them sing to a disco beat.
Yeah.
And in fact, I have a number by Frank Sinatra where he did the first song he ever recorded, All or Nothing at All, and he sang it to a disco arrangement, and it worked. He didn't have to change his style. He didn't have to change the way he sang it. You know, it was just done to that horrible beat that they had. I think I really missed disco. It never became a big deal for me. Okay, so here we go. Here's Jeff again. Jeff, you push the wrong button, Jeff. Well, I don't know. There we are.
It's just not working well.
Really?
So, yeah, I think I must have some little bug in this.
I might just have to wait to say this until something really goes wrong. But I don't think I've ever had Zoom go bad on us on the show, have I?
No.
You know, it's about as solid as possible. I thought about going back one night and doing a retro show on Skype and see what happened. But I bet it sucks. You know, is anybody, huh?
We've had bad guests on Zoom, but that's another story.
Well,
We don't have any bad ones.
well, he can find one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know exactly who he has in mind.
Yeah, I know exactly.
There's one that we know.
Be nice.
Well, you know, I like to have Phil on because we're such a liberal bunch here. We're such a left-wing nut job people here that I do like that other thinking. I mean, I don't agree with it, and it's stupid. And a guy who I like very much for at least a half hour turns into a moron. But nevertheless, I like that other opinion being there, and since we have a pretty civil discussion, I just like it for balance. You know, I missed Phil, his part of it not being here, because I felt, you know.
I agree with you. It isn't Phil's point of view that I have a problem with. It's that Phil never deals from the facts.
Do you want me to read you?
You know, if somebody came on, a right winger came on and had salient points to make, then it would be a fun discussion. It really would. I have a few right wing friends, and we go back and forth all the time, but it's stimulating. But when you just quote shit that you hear from Hannity and treat it as fact, there's no discussion to have.
Yeah, well, let me read you something. Phil sent this to me today, and I, it was a private message on Facebook, but he didn't say, "Don't say this, don't read this out." So I'm going to read it, and I hope he's not mad at me. Hold your breath, everybody. You're going to piss your pants, okay? I never
Phil's
thought.
a friend.
I
Phil's
never.
a friend of mine.
I never thought I would be so disappointed in Trump.
Wow.
Good. Don't read anymore. Just leave it like that.
Leave it there.
Enough
Stop.
said. Delete.
And why didn't he say that last night?
Well, I don't think it had gotten that far.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I mean, not enough had come out and so on and so forth. And he said his actions did not call for entering, his actions did not call for entering the Capitol, nor did he tell them to go into the Capitol to intimidate our elected officials. He did not anticipate what happened, and that mistake was a rookie move.
You know,
I
if
did-
Phil ever came on and said, "I'm seeing Trump in a different light," I wouldn't lord it over him. I would say, "Congratulations, good for you."
Well, I think the fact that he said he's disappointed in Trump, I think is enough. I mean, if you've disappointed Phil, you've disappointed your base. Okay,
Yeah.
and I think that's important. And I disagree with him. I think that he was kind of encouraging him. You know,
me too.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like I'll go to you in a second, Charlie. So remind me that I wanted to go to you next. I remember the movie. What was it? The one Beckett, in which the king wants his people to go out and kill Beckett, but he goes, "Oh, I can't live with this any longer. As long as that man is alive, I'm going to be in just horrible, depressed, whatever." You know. Now he isn't telling them to go out and kill him,
Yeah, right.
but he's giving them the ammunition. And that's exactly what Trump did yesterday. No, I don't think he said go in there and then go trash the place. No, he didn't say that. But his implication was, you know where the Capitol is, go down there. And now what they're trying to say is that actually the people who were doing the mischief inside were Antifa.
Yeah, give me a break. So they went down to the Trump supporter store and bought, Trump flags, Trump hats. Like, I want to see where this store is that you can go to overnight. Come on.
You know how expensive a Trump flag must be?
Oh, Jesus.
And those things, I guess, were for sale.
Jesus Christ.
They, they were ready for this, by the way. I mean, I saw some pictures of them going in there. They had the gear to break windows. They had the gear to do everything. Yes, Charlie, I want to
Yeah,
go.
and that's exactly why I disagree with you. That is exactly what Trump intended, and that's exactly what happened. And he was sitting there cackling at it, watching it on TV.
Yes.
They had to go to him multiple times and beg him to send the National Guard. He would not do it. Finally, Mike Pence had to do it.
And tonight, in a speech, he took credit for sending in the National Guard.
Yeah.
And,
When
and he didn't even care about Pence, and Pence's family was there. He didn't care.
I mean,
By the way,
it
did
was
you
a
hear
no-
the
but it was-
bulletin about the archaeological discovery at the Capitol building? A bunch of Republicans dug real deep and found their morals and ethics. It was a tremendous discovery.
did they find 10,000 votes?
11,000.
Give it time.
But
Yeah.
Trump told them, we are going to go down to the Capitol. And
Yeah,
then
That's
Trump
right.
stayed where he was or went to
Yeah.
the White House and sent them down.
yeah. I'll be there with you.
He whipped them up into a frenzy, sent them to the Capitol. He knew exactly what he was
Well,
doing.
he said march down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol. He didn't tell him go in there and smash the place up, but
That's what he did. He told
But-
them, I'm sorry, he was doing a wink, wink, nod, nod. He was telling them
Well-
exactly to go in there and tear things up. That's why
And
they
Trump
had all the
Jr.'s
equipment to do it.
Look. I'm gonna.
And the juniors revved people up, I heard too. I
Oh,
heard
and
Trump
how?
Jr. I didn't see that, but I heard they're revving up the crowds too.
Oh, I think they were revving him up more than Trump was. He and
Probably.
and Rudy Giuliani.
Go watch
Juniors-
the tape, Brian.
Oh yeah. I can imagine
Let's have
juniors.
a trial by battle or something is what
Combat.
Giuliani said.
Oh yeah,
What the
And the
fuck
guy
does
was
that mean?
repeating
If
it.
it,
yeah.
Yeah,
There's another guy repeating it and yelling it to the crowd, and then
Yeah.
I mean it's kind of like he didn't have to say what he wanted them to do. He could just imply it.
Yep.
You got to show these people what side you're on.
yeah, you got to be strong.
Yeah.
Well, you
You're
see,
not going to take our country back by being weak.
here's the thing. I've always had a rule, as I've told you, in doing talk shows, for instance, that at no time do I want to give anybody a sense of permission. Okay? It's very easy to do that. You know, I think every night Hannity goes on the air and gives people a sense of permission to act in negative ways. And I just don't think you do that because you're harming them and you're harming the public in general, and you don't want to say something that's going to give somebody a sense of permission to do something. And so, therefore, I would never let the discourse get to a point where it seemed like we were giving a sense of permission for anything. But that's what Trump was doing. He was giving them permission.
Yeah.
You know, without coming out.
He's done that several times. Remember the guy that shot? Who was he shooting up? And then he had the van with all this stuff on it, and
Yeah.
every time he says something about, they're not patriots, but before he was saying they're good people on both sides. All this stuff, he's given the permission for all of that stuff.
I don't think a single person there. Yes, and by the way, let's just give these people some credit yesterday. That a good majority of them didn't go there to break into the Capitol and to terrorize people. Okay? Right. They went there because they wanted to go to the Capitol and protest their grievance about what was going on, and that's perfectly legitimate, and I have nothing against that. But it was the 1,000 or so people that went inside and did the trashing and sat in Nancy Pelosi's office smoking a cigar or whatever that guy was doing.
And the security guards that let them.
And security guards
selfies.
Who were taking selfies with them. Taking selfies with them. I mean, there is a theory now out there that this whole scenario was let to happen.
Aided and abetted.
Aided and abetted. You know, by who? By, I guess, certain people who were part of the police contingent. Who believed that it was, the thing to do.
Anybody? Did you hear Biden for the National Guard to get there?
Yeah.
And did you hear Biden talk about? I missed part of it, but he was saying about how I think his granddaughter or somebody was talking to him and saying if it was Black Lives Matter doing that things would happen a lot worse. Things would happen totally different.
Well, I would. That's a good argument. Okay, it's a good argument. I don't know that it's a legitimate argument because it wasn't Black Lives Matter, so we don't know how they would have handled it. Okay, I've heard that.
They did it last June.
Well, but I think. But my point is to hear Biden talk about that stuff is the kind of stuff that we need heard. It can't be something that's not talked about. And for me to hear Biden talk like that, it reassures me how I think he's going to be.
Well, you see, I think it's legitimate to protest. God knows I've been in enough protests in my lifetime.
Me too.
Yeah, and some that were quite noisy and quite threatening. All right, but in that case, we were protesting the war in Vietnam, for instance, and we were protesting lives being lost to that, to the war. And that we felt that we were saving lives by being overt, okay? And that these people shouldn't go anywhere without knowing how we felt about them. It's like I tell the story about how I went to a Broadway show. Kissinger was sitting right in front of me, and when they finally introduced him from the stage during the curtain call, everybody applauded, and I started booing in his ear. Because my feeling was he should not be allowed to go anywhere without knowing there are people that are upset by his decisions. They can't go around thinking that everywhere they go, everybody loves them for what they're doing. Now, that is legitimate. I was tackled to the floor, by the way. But that was legitimate, I feel. But this isn't legitimate because what you're doing here is you're protesting for a guy who's trying to keep his job. I mean, it's almost bizarre that you would go out of your way to this extent that a woman would put her life on the line and get killed over Donald Trump. I mean, come on, he doesn't care about you. You know, when he was told
He
probably.
hadn't even mentioned her.
No, he didn't mention her.
Yeah.
She, by the way, was a fringe nut. You know,
Yes,
they,
he was
they
a
have a
staunch
they have a video of her
Trumpster.
ranting from her car, and it's insane rants. It's not logical rants. All right, that doesn't mean she deserves to die. Nobody's explained what happened and who shot her.
No.
No, and you know, usually something like this happens. Somebody from the police will have a press conference and tell what happened.
Yeah.
Not a peep.
Not a thing.
Yeah,
They quit.
yeah,
The
no,
chief did.
yeah. No.
I saw them take her out.
Mhm.
See that? There was like 6 guys
Mhm.
were wheeling her out.
Right.
She was very dead.
And that didn't seem to stop them from protesting.
Yeah.
You would have thought that
Really?
would have stopped everything dead and everybody would have just backed off and left.
I frankly don't buy the idea that there were 1,000 people who were there peaceably. I really don't. I think the purpose of everyone there was to intimidate.
Yeah.
I really do. I think the overall purpose of people that gathered was to intimidate lawmakers into thinking that there would be repercussions if they didn't act according to this overthrow the election idea. I think they went there with malintent. Now, did they all wake up that morning thinking I'm going to sit in the Senate chamber? Maybe not. But I think their intent wasn't to peaceably protest.
Mm-hmm.
I think they went there with anger in their heart, looking to intimidate and make others understand that this just wouldn't flush.
Yeah. We've been joined by John Larkin, by the way.
Hi,
Hi, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you, Alex?
Good. We're talking about, still talking about what went on yesterday and some of what's happened today now. I first of all, I want to just say to Congress that I'm proud of them. I mean, I haven't said that in a long time, but I'm proud of the fact that in spite of being intimidated, they decided to keep going until, I don't know how late it went, maybe 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Something like that.
Turned it off at 2 a.m.
And I think the miracle of the whole thing is that Dianne Feinstein stayed awake.
Yeah.
That's what I found amazing.
Yeah.
Because yesterday, while some people were giving a speech, she was going.
Yeah.
And while I think that's entirely called for because of some of these speeches, I do think that, that you stay awake.
Did they? I was trying to find out, but did they explain the 3 medical emergencies?
I haven't seen that.
Some of these guys have heart attacks. These old guys or something. I don't know.
I'm sure well, to begin with, I want to know after the fact how many of these people get COVID. I mean, that was the biggest super spreader event I've seen all year long. Yeah,
and it's about a week after New Year's, so you should see some kind of separation.
Well,
in that
what happened here, and the reason I say it's really a super spreader event, it's probably going to be worse than other events. I mean, when Trump held a rally, people were standing there and they were next to each other and they were close and they weren't wearing the proper gear, the masks and so on. But they weren't shouting and screaming and sweating and doing all the things that would spread the disease. Okay? And I think there's going to be a large surge among that group.
They better hope they don't have that other mutated strain either, or they're all done.
Yeah.
That's the English flu?
The English flu. Yeah.
UK flu.
Actually, they say this one they think came from Africa. So it's those damn black people. It's your fault, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you haven't given us a death count today. It's pretty bad.
It was
today.
a brand new record. We set another record for the 3rd time in the last week.
Get this, folks.
3,998. Almost 4,000 people
Too
died
short of
today.
4,000. Let's say it's 4,000 because I'm sure there are two we missed.
Yeah.
All right? 4,000 in one day.
Hey.
Okay?
Mhm.
It's amazing. Just amazing. You know. And I just, it makes me so mad when I think of how all of this could have been avoided, or at least minimized. I don't think it could have been avoided entirely, but I think it could have been minimized.
But when you look at the Trump rallies, there was no way we're going to be able to have those people in control to have masks.
Yeah, but I mean, what happens is actions and morality and everything starts at the top. Okay?
Yeah.
Ashley Montague, who wrote a book on the Elephant Man, which I optioned to make a movie out of it, and somebody else decided to do it instead since, they didn't need to option the book to do it. But I interviewed Ashley Montague, and we were talking about, he had written the book The Elephant Man, and he was talking about how he became very fashionable in London. All the aristocracy wanted to hang out with him, and he was a kind of a decent guy, and very smart, very intelligent, and he just looked horrible. That's all. So we started talking about what becomes fashionable and how fashion is dictated, and he says fashion is dictated in the old days, at least in those days, by royalty. Royalty wore a frilly tie, then everybody else started wearing frilly ties. They wore ruffles on their shirt, they wore ruffles on their shirts. And that's how fashion was dictated. And I said, well, how's it dictated today? And he said, well, our royalty are movie stars, music stars, things like that. And the point I guess I'm trying to make here is that what he indicated is that behavior in a society is created many times by the people who are fashionable. And in the case of the President of the United States, he said, the President, for instance, is a good example of someone who can dictate tastes and how people act and their morality and so on. And this has always rung true with me as I watched this whole thing going down and saying, if this guy had just worn a mask, if he had just said, wear a mask, how many lives would be here today that aren't here now?
I think it's far simpler than we make it. Look, politically speaking, Trump's greatest path to re-election was to emphasize the economy. For good, bad, or indifferent, this was his linchpin. He thought that if he kept selling the idea of the economy, that he could win. COVID comes along and the necessary shutdowns, and they were a mosquito on his ass. And the only way that he could re-emphasize the economy was to minimize COVID.
That's correct. But here's
that from the first.
Here's where he missed a huge opportunity. If he had just simply handled this properly, he could have gotten reelected without even blinking.
Say it here all the time.
Huh?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, that's how stupid this man was, is that he thought it was the economy and that COVID was ruining the economy, therefore he had to minimize COVID. What he could have said is, this is my opportunity to seize the moment.
Yes.
Carpe diem. And save lives and so on and so forth. And even if I don't believe it, forget it. If you believe it or don't believe it.
Put the nation on a wartime footing, and nobody bumps an incumbent out of office during wartime.
Right.
They want to gather around the leader and exert a patriotism.
And if but if he had just done something about it, would have been fine. Would have been terrific.
Kept his mouth shut and let the scientists handle it.
Yeah.
It would have been golden, But he's an egomaniac. He can't keep his mouth shut.
Well, he felt that I don't. In his mind, I think he actually thinks the Chinese created COVID so that it would make him look bad.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the whole world does not think, "Oh, what are we going to do to fuck up Donald Trump today?" Yes, Charlie.
And the proof of that is he thinks all those votes in Pennsylvania and Georgia were completely valid for every election except the president.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wait a
Hey,
minute.
I can see it.
Tony, you just keep your camera on. Come back.
Yeah, you know what? She's calling me, Alex. I'll be right back.
Okay, we can go take care of Mom, because he's got some interesting stories about his relationship to COVID. But anyway,
In other news today, Merrick Garland. How's that for a karma is a bitch?
oh, I love it. I love it. And he's going to get approved, because all of the cabinet is going to get approved.
Oh, sure.
Because it's just going to be, here's who I want. Okay, you got him. Okay, well, you only get 50 votes. Oh, yeah, here comes Kamala.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what is so wonderful about all of this is that Biden is going to be able to do what he needs to do to get this country on the right course without flinching.
2 weeks.
You know.
2 years.
Huh?
He'll have 2 years.
He'll have 2 years, and if he does a good enough job,
He might have another 2
You
years.
might have 4. Yeah.
he might have 4.
Right.
You know.
And Schumer gets to decide what gets brought to the Senate floor.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many things that McTurtle guy has been sitting on for how long?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're using McTurtle now too, huh?
I love it.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I used to call him he with no chin.
Well, look, when I was a kid, how many of you ever read comic books and they said, if you can draw this turtle,
Yeah.
we'll give
TV
you
Guide.
you can get
The
a,
TV Guide.
you can get an art scholarship. Draw Yertle
Remember-
the turtle or whatever his name was. And I swear to you, in my mind, if I remember the picture of that turtle, it looks just like Mitch
Just
McConnell.
like-
They had that in the back of the little TV guides. Remember the little
Yeah,
TV guides?
Yep. But comic books were the places where I saw them the most.
Matchbook covers.
They were a little too small to have the picture of Draw Me, but it was always that damn turtle. You know.
Or the Civil War guy with the Civil War hat on.
Oh, really? Was there one of those
I
too?
remember he had
Yeah.
the Civil War cap on.
Yeah.
I drew it one time and it was perfect. And I thought, Mom, look, I can go to college.
Now, before I went on, I saw that Betsy DeVos just quit.
Yeah, wow.
And she quit.
How will we know the difference?
Well, but she quit in protest. She didn't just say, I'm resigning. She quit in protest, saying, I'm resigning because I cannot put up with what the president did yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did Chow.
You know, they're all. I'll tell you, it's like, you know, it's a 12th hour conversion, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's all of a sudden. It's all of a sudden. There it is. There's the turtle. Or is that a bird? Is that a bird, Ray? You got to turn on your mic.
That's the turtle.
That's the
it.
turtle. Move it aside.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Isn't that Mitch
That's it.
McConnell?
Pretty good.
Yeah. But I mean, you just think about it, and it's amazing that a lot of these 12th hour conversions, and now it looks like, to begin with, Ted Cruz is almost not even. He may as well quit, because he is so vilified today because of his standing for being one of the people that was, you know, and then this other asshole, Noah Hawley. Okay.
Gosh.
No, well,
Josh
did you hear
Hawley.
about the last minute thing that happened with Noah Hawley? Simon and Schuster canceled his book contract.
Yeah.
He had a book that was going to be published, and they have canceled it. And he goes, "They're censoring me."
Yeah.
No,
right.
they're not. They're a company, and they say, "Hey, we like your book. We think it'll make us money. We'll publish it." Oh, you just fucked up. You did all of this. Nobody's going to want to buy that book. We don't want to pay for it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, where did he get the idea that all of a sudden this was part of freedom of speech, the fact that you got a book contract? You know, I guess, because I don't have a book contract, that I'm being denied my freedom of
Yes.
speech.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
right.
it's all Simon and Schuster's fault,
Yes.
or any one of a number of Scribner's. No, I'm sorry. You really screwed up. You did something which they think most people believe that you're complicit
Yeah, he is.
in what happened. Are you there, Tony? No, I guess he's not.
His camera just went down.
His camera collapsed.
Yeah, it collapsed.
Has COVID.
It has COVID. Yeah, but I was so happy to see him lose his book contract, and then the way he's griping about it is just, oh, we just lost him, is really silly. I mean, you can't gripe about that. It's their company. They can do with it what they want to, and if they didn't appreciate what you did yesterday, and they feel that it made you negative in the eyes of the public, and that it's going to make it much harder to sell that book, and it's going to make them look bad for publishing it, goodbye.
Tell him to go fund his own book then.
Oh yeah.
You could go pay for all that stuff yourself.
Yeah, go on Parlor and sell the goddamn thing.
Yep.
Bounce around the Parlor a little bit. It's pretty funny.
And tonight,
you definitely get the people. There's people in Parlor that don't like what happened yesterday, and there's a lot of people there just a lot of nonsense.
Now there's the new wrinkle in all of this is that Trump finally tonight made a video. It's him fucking Stormy Daniels. No, it's him saying decrying the violence that went on yesterday. Decrying it and saying that he said, listen, I sent out the National Guard. You got to give me credit. I sent out the National Guard, and I'm thinking
right away.
That's not what I heard. I heard that it was Pence, that you wouldn't do it, and Pence had the ability to do it, so he did it.
Where is this video available?
What?
Where can you see this video?
It's out there. If I go to
okay.
If I go to wait a minute.
It was on MSNBC.
Yeah, well, you can go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. Let me go to.
It was
YouTube.
on that guy's account, Chrisman or whatever his name is.
Let me see here. News. Let me see here. Where is it? Trump. I don't know. Usually it's always in news, but history.
Not even worth looking at.
Huh? It's not worth looking at. Oh, here we go.
It looks like it's a hostage video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. He said
Empty as hell.
Yeah.
I can play it here, but I got to get past a couple of things like the commercial.
It ain't worth it.
No, don't do that.
Well, I'd like you to hear it only because I want you to be able to comment on it.
I'd like to veto it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just suggest to all of you that you go look at it. Okay, everybody be quiet when I play it because it's on the same pot that you're all on. And I will unmute this the minute that, what's his name? The guy that came over from Fox and went to CNBC.
Shepard
Smith. Okay, here we go.
Begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high, but now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Oh, boy.
That was his get out of jail later
card. More uplifting.
Yeah. I mean,
just beginning.
The best.
Well, it is the closest he's come to actually, admitting he lost.
Don't say it. Don't say
Normalcy.
Well,
But
someone
don't
told him
say
he
it.
had to do that, or he might end up arrested.
Well,
I'm trying to get barf out of my beard.
I don't believe it for a second.
No, of course not. Of course not. And the question is, okay, why didn't you say this the night after the election?
He doesn't believe
by the way, Penn says he's going to the inauguration. Okay, but I'm sure Trump won't be there. I'm sure he doesn't want it. They don't want him there, I don't think. I mean, for him to do this now at this point is so ingenuous. I mean, how he feels that the American public is suddenly going to think better of him for having said this tonight, when we all know that the pressure was on him. I mean, everybody told him, you don't do something, your legacy is shit. Well, his legacy is shit anyway.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's too late, His legacy is, this is a frosting on the legacy cake, what happened yesterday, I mean, he's already got a horrible legacy, but his legacy now is just, it's pathetic.
He's going to be a man without a country, He's a seditionist.
That'd be
And
nice.
he won't pardon himself because he thinks he'll go blind.
What?
Blind.
He won't pardon himself because he thinks he'll go blind,
I don't get that.
Because of that.
I mean,
I'll just do it till I'm nearsighted, right?
I'll bet you. I have a theory. I bet you that he's dead within a year.
It could be.
And I'll tell you why.
I'll buy that.
Look at Roger Ailes.
Yeah.
The minute he no longer had Fox, a year later, he didn't even die of something, like he had a disease and died. He fell, hit his head, and hemorrhaged and died. But, even something like that is kind of self-inflicted. And I just think this man, with the kind of hatred that is going to be, he can't go back to Mar-a-Lago. He can't live there. He doesn't dare come back to New York City. I mean, forget it. It's all over for him in New York City. Where's he going to go? Scotland? They won't let. They don't want him at that goddamn golf course.
Go to Russia.
He was giving, wasn't he giving the Medal of Honor to some golfers today?
Yes.
That's the one I don't get. I mean,
what the hell was that?
Why do you give a Medal of Honor to a golfer?
Well, it's that thing that they give to people in sports. It's something.
It's the one they let them cheat.
No, but is it a medal of? Is it a Medal of Honor?
Thank you
No,
for
it's not Medal of Honor. It's
knocking
called
the snowman.
something
No,
else.
but it was
It's
a
usually
medal.
the
No, but
athlete.
they announced that he was giving out the Medal of Honor.
Well, it's this medal that they give to old athletes. They've been doing it for a long time.
That they give to old athletes? Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me just look this up. Medal of Honor.
And somebody else just got it a few weeks ago. Who was that?
But I think that was somebody.
Tennis player. I think.
Oh, was it a tennis player?
Or I think
it was Devin Nunes and Jim Jordan.
Yeah, people are busting in the Capitol the day after he's giving out these awards.
I think Trump will probably just choke on a McNugget or something.
Medal of Freedom for 3 golf.
Medal of Freedom. Yeah.
They'll find him in bed dead from a McNugget.
Okay, here they are. Professional golfers Annika Sorenstam and Gary Player, and posthumously Babe Dietrichson Zaharias.
Only one is an American.
Yeah.
Oh, she's old.
Gary Player.
He's dead.
She's been dead
Gary
for
Player is
centuries.
South African.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Who's South African?
Gary
Player.
Gary Player, South African. Okay, and Annika.
He retired
Annika
like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Sorenstam.
She's Swedish, if memory serves me.
Yeah. So how does she get the Presidential Medal of Honor?
You got me. Hey, yesterday there was an award. A guy walked out of the Capitol with an entire podium as an award.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. I saw that. But they probably
some guy had Nancy Pelosi's door plaque.
Piece of it.
What if it's on eBay right now?
Yeah, right.
Check.
Do you know there were? I don't know who it was exactly, but there was one congresswoman who wrote her husband a note and said, "Here's where my will is."
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Capitol for this today, but here's where my will is just in case something happens. It's almost like they knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And nothing
Everybody knew Trump had that rally.
And nothing was done about it. Nothing.
There was a congresswoman on Morning Joe, not today, but yesterday, and she said, it was last night. It wasn't Morning Joe. I think it was Brian Williams' show. And she said that they were told they had to get the hell off the floor. So they herded them, a group of them, into these side rooms. Mm-hmm. And she happened to be in a room with about 8 Republican males. And she looked at them, and they were all in this tiny room, and not a one of them was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And so she said to them, I don't feel secure here with you guys not wearing a mask. And they began an argument with her on the grounds that their personal rights were being infringed. And she thought to herself, even now, like, Jesus Christ. She got up and left, by the way.
You know what you do if you're a decent person? We're talking about just common courtesy here. If somebody says she feels uncomfortable because all you guys aren't wearing masks, and I don't want to get COVID, and I would appreciate it if you would put your masks on, you do it as a courtesy. Forget about any, like, I have the right not to wear a mask. Not really. I mean, when you go into a beachfront bar and they say all patrons must have shoes on, do you say I have the right not to wear shoes? It's bullshit. I mean, this is like, come on, have some respect for your fellow man. I mean, what the Republican Party is going to have to go do Republican Party 2.0. They got to really get that one going, because they've engendered so much bad will. And what he did yesterday just was the frosting on the cake. I mean, guys like Hawley, they're trying to actually throw Hawley out of the Senate.
Yeah.
Saying that he helped incite that riot, and they're thinking about doing the same thing to Tom Cruise.
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. And Tom Cruise as well.
Tom Cruise is good.
No, I mean, it really was, it was terrible on their part, being a part of all. And then afterwards, you would think that after all of this happened, these guys would kind of go, well, I'm going to change my vote on this thing. I'm not going to impede this thing. No, 20. I think 26 of them still were signed up to do this thing.
Yeah.
And the one of the only senators who changed their mind was Loeffler, who said, "I'm not going to do it." And Loeffler did it for a very simple reason. I think she felt she had nothing to lose by doing it.
He's going to buy Georgia.
She's going to buy Georgia, exactly. Hello, Tony. How are you?
Listen, do me a favor. Don't leave the house until you get this vaccine.
Yeah, I know. I'm having.
I implore anybody who, Alex, don't.
Are you
leave
sick?
the house.
I have a teeth cleaning next week that I canceled for exactly that reason.
Are you sick, Tony?
Tony has
I'm doing
COVID.
okay. I didn't need hospitalization, so I lost 8 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
lost
I
8
hear.
pounds.
People losing weight.
Well, maybe it's not that bad, huh?
But my mom, I'm telling you, Alex, and I can tell you guys, Alex, they thinking it's the steroids they gave her. She's got a breather, and also she's on a pill. If I kid you not, I had to hang up before, because you know why? She starts seeing things. She just wigs out. And it's like totally bizarre. And then she calms down. I talked to the doctor already. I'm not going to give her the steroid tomorrow. I can't answer. I'll go to the doctor now.
So she has COVID now?
Yeah, she has COVID.
Oh, wow.
He has COVID. His brother has COVID. His sister has COVID. And
my sister got it in school.
His brother-in-law has COVID.
Yeah. I feel all right, Ray, though. I'll tell you the truth.
They're the Jukes family of COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll tell you the truth. That was a scare, Alex. I told you. I was about I don't go anywhere other than seeing shit. I don't go nowhere. What happened is my sister teaches in school. I got to talk low so she don't hear. And Alex, it's bullshit with these fucking schools. They're not testing anybody. The kids come in there. She's teaching first grade. They don't test the kids. The teachers are tested random. So you don't get a true thing of what's going on if you're not testing everybody in the
from
school.
what I heard, I mean, Cuomo has said that the safest place for kids to be right now is in school because
He's a fucking liar, Alex. Believe me when I tell you this.
Really?
Yep. That's how we got it. They closed the school down. They're not testing the kids. The kids rip their mask off and grab everything.
Oh boy.
So he's a fucking bald-faced liar.
And while you had a bubble in your house with your mother in the bubble and you in the bubble and
she was
your
in the
brother
bubble.
and your brother in the bubble, okay.
Yeah, and Alex, I got to tell you another thing. My brother went to Sloan for the cancer thing a week and a half ago. He took the COVID test on Monday, cleared it on Wednesday. My sister came down with it. She went with him. She came into the house. It came into the house the weekend of like 2.5 weeks ago, and that's how we got it. Because our whole house got it too. My brother-in-law and my two nieces.
Your sister brought it in, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
From the
now
school.
your brother.
That school closed down now.
Your brother is he home most of the time these days?
Well, he's working. He works for 311. He's a city manager. He's been working remotely for the last year.
Okay. All right. So really, you had a bubble. You, your mother, and your brother.
Yep.
When sister comes into it and she bathes your mother. Okay, that's why she came in. Every 3 days she would come in to bathe your mother. So
I would do it a little bit, and then she would come in to do.
So your mother wouldn't get stinky.
Yeah.
And which was a really nice, wonderful thing to do. But what she did is she brought the COVID into the house. She burst the bubble, you know.
She did.
And if she hadn't come over,
she's distraught over it. I can tell you that. She's really.
I imagine.
Yeah.
I imagine.
And I tell you, I knew I had it, Alex, 2 weeks ago. After we got off the show, I went to bed and I was watching my mother, and I thought it was my mind. I said, I feel like I got the chills. I said, I got the flu shot. I said, right? And I had some sweats. So I got up right away. I took my shirt off, and I'm like, I took my temperature, and I'm like, oh, my sister messaged me, how do you feel? And I didn't want to say no. I said, oh, shit. I said, I think I got this.
Hey, look.
And then I had the cough.
Okay. Tony, just look straight ahead at me. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Do my temperature. I do it every night.
You're 93. Oh, you're 93.2. You're okay.
I'm sitting over here.
Huh? Yeah, it's okay. I'm okay now.
I mean, Charlie, don't even leave the house, please. If you saw the way she reacts to the steroids and everything, don't do it.
Hey, Tony, is your sister a teacher?
Yeah.
98.5.
She's little kids or?
Yeah, special kids. Hold on, I'm going to talk to her. She's worried here. Hey, what's up, Nan?
Let me see here. No, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me just take my temperature here. Because you know what I find about those head things? If you're in a hot room, it goes high.
Alan messaged me. He's taking care of his 88-year-old mother tonight. They'll be on tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Hope she's okay.
97.9. See, it's not even in lockstep with my gun.
Kevin, how's your mom doing?
What?
How's your mom doing?
Oh yeah, how is your mom doing, Kevin? Kevin? How's your
mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's your mom doing?
Okay, thanks for asking. She's doing okay. I've been taking her to the hospital and stuff, and she's been kicking along.
Yeah.
Does she have the
stuff left and right?
Does she have the China virus also?
No, she's been dodging it. She's been passing her tests. I have too. So,
if it's only 1 out of 10 people have the virus, 1 out of 9.
Well,
and I'm going to tell you something now. I really hope Trump drops dead for real because he's not taking me out, Alex. I'm waiting for the announcement, like Walter Cronkite. The president has been shot in Dallas.
Oh, stop it, Tony.
Throw confetti out the window.
Stop it, Tony.
Tony's going to get us all.
Yeah, right. I'm going to get a knock on the door
Oh
tomorrow.
my God!
No more monetization.
No more monetization. Secret Service at my door.
I'm all contaminated. Nobody wants to. Alex, my neighbors on the block just waved to me now like I'm a leper. When I get to them, I had the lady next door go like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Hi, Anna." She's, "Hi." Okay, I'll see you in about a month.
Alex just lost his 47 cents this evening.
Yeah, the 47 cents I would have made off tonight's show. I don't even monetize this show for the live version because I just give up. Every night they would demonetize it, and then they'd have to say you're wrong, and then they would remonetize it. But I lost a couple of days of making 25 cents.
What I ate a half a chocolate cake out of my aggression.
Oh, really? Okay.
The lady next door left it on the step for me.
Really?
Food.
And then ran. Just
in case I die, I'm going to find nothing.
You don't need to return the glassware.
So where do we go from here? Do you think, folks, that the Biden's up to the task of all the problems that he's going to have on day one?
Oh, God.
I mean,
well, he's hired a lot of good people. So
yeah, that's the thing. He's hired the right people so far.
But my question is, we have so many problems in this country right now, and I mean serious problems, not the least of which is this relationship of everybody to everybody else. That let's say 40% of the public is Trump-like, all right, and is resistant to anything. I mean, if they're resistant to wearing a mask, then they're resistant to anything you have to say to them. How is he going to change that? How is he going to make people feel, well, maybe this guy is trying to change things. Maybe he's trying to make things better.
I don't know that you should worry about that. I really don't. I think on one hand, he's up against it. There's so many things wrong. But on the other hand, like FDR walked into the Depression, just standing still, things are bound to get better. So, in that regard, he's got nowhere to look but up. So, with good people around him and good delegation, things are bound to get better, and it'll look good for him, I think, in the long run.
So
I don't think you can worry about those idiots that, are going to be, they're going to still hold the heart on for Trump. That'll die away after a while.
So what you're saying is do the best job possible.
Yeah, just look ahead. Just look forward. Don't listen to the noise and just do the best you can.
Right.
And things are bound to turn around.
Yeah.
I think when people realize that we aren't going to be a socialist democratic society like they're all talking about.
Right. Calm
and
down.
That we aren't, all the things that they're saying going to happen. The guns won't get taken away.
Right.
They'll get their guns.
Right.
That sort of thing aren't going to happen.
Well, they shouldn't
Maybe
worry.
It'll calm them down a little bit.
They shouldn't worry about that. We're not going to take their guns away immediately.
Right. Right.
Right.
Not for
had
2
8
years.
years to take their guns away.
No, it's not going to happen, and all that crap that they've been feeding everybody is got to fade away, and then maybe they'll calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, it's
all that shit has been bullshit from day one, and they've been fed it and they've been brainwashed. It's got to leak out sooner or later.
I also love the way they say, well, you know, if the Democrats come in, we're going to be socialistic. By the way, where's my $2,000?
Yeah, right. Can I have my money?
Yeah.
I mean, they're
come
still
on.
doing it. I mean, you got these pundits on the other channels that were doing it all day today. Well, you know, Trump's still there, and he's going to be in there, and there's still people that are still doing that stuff, and we're all going to be led into this socialistic, you know, when the Democrats take over and everything's going to go social. You'll see, and I hope it just goes exactly the opposite way.
I only look as a fervent, hard leftist. I would only hope and pray that Biden was a socialist, but he's not.
Oh.
And as somebody who is a socialist at heart, because I can't vote socialist, but at heart, he's not a socialist. I'm telling you right now.
No, he's middle of the road Democrat.
Yes, he is.
If he fixes the insurance and does something good there, maybe they'll forget all that shit. You know,
Congress is still run by middle of the road Democrats.
Yeah,
and you know, it's going to be a long time before we have socialism or social
AOC
democracy.
will make her noise, but they'll calm her down.
Yeah,
you know,
going to be in charge of the budget committee in the Senate.
And they thought that the economy was going to get better under Trump, and it really didn't get better under Trump. I mean, the guy was always bad with money to begin with.
It stayed the course.
Yeah.
It stayed the course. Pretty much whatever Obama set up, pretty much
the bull market started in 2008. Let's see. Who was elected in 2008?
Exactly.
It was handed over,
Yeah.
My favorite from Republicans is tax and spend liberals. They love to say tax and spend liberals. Well, let's see. The 5 largest deficits in the history of our country were all under Republican president. My, oh, my. All government Republicans who are conscious of the deficit.
Right. But the thing is that he likes to think that, oh, well, look at the stock market. Look how it's gone up. Stock market is not an indicator of the economy. It's an indicator of a bunch of people who invested in the stock market. I've done very well in the stock market. I should love Donald Trump, but I know he had nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact,
worse yet, he points to the Dow. If you know anything about stocks, that's only 30 companies. 30.
Well, he should know that. He went to an economics school, went to Wharton. But the fact of the matter is that you've got that the Dow going up. It has. I've been checking it because that's where a lot of my money is, in the Dow, and it has gone up considerably. I mean, it went down, tanked horribly, and now it's back up again, and it's higher than it's ever been. It's over 30,000, and it's probably heading towards 31,000 at this point. But you know when it started jumping up? The minute Trump no longer was going to be president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beginning of December just shot up like crazy.
Yeah. So let me just say Trump is responsible for the jump in the Dow.
Thank you.
Yesterday was another high, right?
Yeah.
2 of my stocks went up $12.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, I looked at my stock today and I went, geez, I took a real beating. And also last year, because I have stock in the 401k and I'm over, 75, I have to sell off a couple of % of it every year.
Distribution,
yeah.
But
the fact is that even after that, I'm back higher than I was before the distribution went out.
I was hearing things from Republicans about they were going to take away hamburgers. Did anybody hear that line of shit?
What?
They're going to take
away
right,
yeah. No more cows.
Yeah, cows.
No more cows. Yeah, hamburgers. You're not going to get your hamburgers.
Where the fuck did they come up with these things?
Yeah, my Republican friends, they were saying they're going to take away my classic cars.
Yeah.
What? What?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Because they're going all electric. So within
right.
5 years, they'd be all electric, and all the gas cars they'd be turning in. I said,
nice. Yeah, I heard that too.
And then you see Joe Biden driving a Corvette.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They're waiting for most of those cars to just break down, not be usable anymore, be junk heaps.
And I actually saw a site get taken down because of that.
I mean, even if they do require electric cars, if you're a collector and you have a vintage car, they're not going to make you get rid of the thing.
No.
Yeah.
I'm building one right now.
Yeah. But I mean, if you have a car, let me see here. We have Kevin there, and you like your cars, right? You're a car guy, but you have personal cars, right, in the family?
Yep.
Are any of them hybrids?
Nope. My daughter's going to get one next year. But
oh, okay. But what are they? Older cars?
It's going to be a Prius, but it's from my father-in-law down in Arizona. He's going to give one to her that's probably 10, 12 years old.
Because if I bought a car tomorrow, I wouldn't get an electric because I don't want to have to, keep looking at the electric gauge, worrying that I'm going to run out of electricity, and then if I have to stop and charge it up again, it's going to take me several hours to get it charged.
Well, if you're out here in California,
Brian, you're kind of giving me no. Am I right about that?
No, but California, everyone drives to work and they have chargers there, or you come home, they have chargers here.
You go to 7-Eleven, you can charge your car.
I got enough trouble charging my watch every night. Okay.
You go to Kohl's and you can charge your car while you're shopping.
We had a Leaf when they first came out, and it took like 14 hours to charge, and I was driving back from the city, and I ran out of electricity. And the dashboard was like, "You must stop now. Do not drive any further." It was going crazy. I'm sweating. Oh my God, am I gonna get home? And I made it. And then my neighbor down the street was one of the guys who originally came up with the standards. And he said, "Oh no, we built it in. So like, there's a huge buffer. Like it'll make you think that you're done, and you still got like 25 miles."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Remember Seinfeld? Remember they did the used car. They did the test drive.
Yeah,
remember? And Kramer had him. Let's go. Let's keep going.
But the fact is that I would get a hybrid in a second. I mean, that's the way to go. I think that combination for now works. I think eventually we're going to come up with a battery system that will go 800 miles and you can charge in no time at all, and whatever. But
it's just the cost. They can do it now. It's just too expensive. So
I think it's crazy to own a car when you can just rent them or use a zip car. If you don't drive that much, I mean, what's the point of owning one?
Well,
the cities
live in the city.
City's different.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if I can drive a car anymore. I really don't. It's been 3 years since I used a car last.
Sure, you can.
Sure, I can. Yeah. I just don't.
Ain't no zip cars in Texas.
I make so many mistakes just turning the show on and off now because I'm starting to lose it. That I'm worried that driving, I'll get behind the wheel and within 10 minutes I'll smash into something, So I don't know. It's just that I haven't done it for a while. So, who knows?
We're still talking about cars.
He's still talking about cars.
What's that?
Oh boy. Well, all I've got to say is we wondered what 2021 was going to be like, that it was all going to be better, and look what's happened. We're off to a really bad start, So who knows what's going to happen this year? Could be worse than last year. We could
lost Tony again.
We could be reminiscing about the great old days back in the 2020s.
Days, yeah.
That was the second storming of the Capitol building since the War of 1812.
Right.
When the British stormed the Capitol.
Yeah. Yep. That's absolutely correct.
Except we did it this time.
We did it. Anyway. Hey, listen, thanks to Tony, by the way. I'm sure he had to go off and take care of his mom. It's not been pleasant for him. But we wish him well on that. Robert, good seeing you again tonight. God, I love having you here. I love having Brian here. Love having Charlie here. Dr. Doom. Jeff, thank you so much. John Larkin, thank you. You feeling good? Getting better?
My head itches.
Yeah. Well,
other than that, I'm fine.
That's dandruff. And Kevin, thank you, and thank you to Ray Renati.
Thank you.
A couple of nights in a row, I think, Ray. It's good.
I'll be back more.
We love seeing you here.
Thank you.
Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you, okay? So that we're all waving goodbye. There goes our citizen panel, and we will form another one tomorrow night. We're going to form one in just about a couple of minutes from right now when Jack Bishop does the intersection. He's going to be doing it on Skype, and the thing to call is Gabnet Live on Skype. Gabnet Live, okay? In the meantime, that's it for us for tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, be good to each other, be considerate, and wear a mask. Be safe out there. Night, everybody.